Excellent advice. It looks like some of our online participants are asking about working while they're in school to help pay for their studies. Is it possible to work?
Right. Well, according to current visa regulations, if a student is on a student visa, they can work up to 20 hours a week on campus with permission from immigration, and there is an office on everyone's campus called the International Student and Scholar Services. So they deal with immigration regulations. They also work with programming and adapting to transitioning to a U.S. university campus. But the law does allow for up to 20 hours of week of work on a campus. Personally speaking, from the students who have worked in my office over the last 8 years, I've had a variety of students. No one student could even give me more than 14 hours a week because of the academic obligations. Mm-hmm. The first job a student has is to be a student. Mm-hmm. So getting a little job on campus, legally it's allowed. You've got to have really good time management skills, and it's good pocket money. It will not finance your education, but you can do so. Now, over the summers, a student can request permission to work off campus up to 40 hours a week on a student visa during the summer period. And summer in the United from mid-May till about mid or end of August. So that could be a nice period of time if the student gets the job that has been allowed him or her to do. When a student finishes their education, under the current laws, if they're on a student F1 visa, they can stay in the United States for a year and do an OPT, an optional practical training program, as long as they are employed within a certain number of weeks after graduation and in a field that is related to the degree they studied, and that they have an employer who is going to hire them. But that would be work with a salary for a year to get that experience. And after completion of every degree, they can get that 1 year of experience after a BA or an MA or a PhD. These are not going to fund the whole budget, but they're good pocket money and help cover some of those expenses that therefore the student would not have to go back to their family and ask for.
Thanks, Evelyn. That's really good.
This is Pat Salber with the Dr. Weighs In, and I'm at the MEDX conference on the Stanford campus, and I have with me today Dave DeBronkart, who is known to everyone as ePatient Dave, and the E stands for
Empowered, Engaged, Equipped, Enabled, Electronic, Expert, Evidence-Oriented, etc., etc.
Oh, that's a lot more E's than I thought.
I know, it's growing. It's a thing.
So what we want to talk to you about today is, I know that you have had
Online viewers want to know why you decided to come to the US. Balkis, I'll start with you.
Well, coming to the US for me was not really a plan that I had in mind. It was more of a dream that just happened to become true. Since I was a young little girl, I always fantasized about coming and studying in the U.S. I watched on TV about all the opportunities that you could get, and it was just a simple dream. And given where I come from, I grew up during the Civil War. It was just nearly impossible, and at some point my brother had to leave the country because it was just unsafe for him to be there. He went to Switzerland and he ended up in the United States, and then for myself that was an opportunity for me to join him, as it was getting very difficult for me to live in my country. It was just a dangerous situation. As women were banned from studying and going to school, and then my brother was just lucky enough, and I was lucky enough to actually be able to go and join him and come to the U.S. and pursue my studies, and that's how it
Sounds like
happened.
you're living the dream.
This is the VOA Special English Education Report. Last week, we told you how some international students have few friends in their host countries when they study overseas. One study in the United States found that 38% of foreign students said they had no close American friends. Communications specialist Elizabeth Garys studied more than 450 foreign students. VOA's Jessica Stahl also investigated the issue in her blog, The Student Union. Her survey showed 75% of foreign students said they have more than 2 American friends, but 10% reported having no American friends. Elizabeth Garies at Baruch College in New York says efforts to improve relationships between the two groups of students have yet to be studied in detail. She says these efforts should begin with the college or university. Elizabeth Garies says teaching institutions should build systems that support contact. They can do that, she says, with group activities early in the school year. She suggests taking walks, going on bicycle, field, or camping trips, and attending parties, sporting events, or film festivals. She says such activities should be held repeatedly to bring students together throughout the school term. Elizabeth Garies also suggests that foreign students share housing with American students. Michigan State University is known for its programs for international students. Last year, about 5,900 students from 133 countries attended Michigan State. They made up perhaps 12% of the total university population. Peter Briggs directs the Office for International Students and Scholars at Michigan State. He says more foreign students are expected to register this year. Many students and community members are trained and prepared to help foreign students. The volunteers assist new students as they complete government requirements and find their academic advisors. Peter Briggs says the volunteers also help answer their traditional questions of new people anywhere. Where do I get an identification card? Which is the best bank? What is my cell phone plan? How do I get a social security number or driver's license? He says that kind of information is shared both formally and informally as students advise other students. We're really supporting that network, he says. Peter Briggs also notes that if the new students make friends as they begin school, they will come to feel part of the life and traditions of the university. For VOA Special English, I'm Laurel Bowman.